Okay, good morning lads. I'm fishing the, it's Wednesday, and I'm fishing the float only at Bewdley. Change of venue for the draw today. It's at the Pine End Golf Club, and I arrived nice and early. Just walking down now. So just going to pay my pools, take a look on the draw. Now, I'm hoping to get a sort of a chub peg today. I'll tell you why. About 30 odd years ago, I came up here, never seen it before, and one of the boys said there's a lot of chub up here, so I brought the bread, and I come up and I won the match. And you know what? Over the last couple of years I've been coming here, I haven't brought it, and it's the first time I brought it today. I know it's a winter sort of method, but there's been a few chub coming out lately, so I'm going to try it. Hopefully, if I get a half decent draw. So let's keep my fingers crossed and let's see what draw I get first. So that'll be interesting. That'll be, yeah. Oh, Dave Robertson, he's driven further than me. He's come from London way. So anyway, right, let's go in. Okay, so yeah, so that was an interesting story what you were telling me about the start of the Riverfest, because I think you mentioned that,
how it came about.
Yeah,
how it came about. It was at the big one show down in Farnborough, and it was one of the evenings in the bar, and all the trade people were in there talking fishing, and I overheard a conversation between Phil Briscoe and I forget who, but they were just talking about big events and, you know, things like Fishermania and various big money events that were starting to spawn. And this guy in question said to Phil, "What about river fishing?" And Phil said, "Well, nobody bothers with rivers." He said, "They can't win anything." Right? And it was an interesting thing to listen to in some ways. And I went to bed that night and just couldn't stop thinking about what they'd been saying. And they were right. They were totally right. That there was just nothing for the river angler, you know. So, me being me, I just wanted to create something there, right? I couldn't stop thinking about it. So, I just sat down and kicked some figures around and thought about how to do it. Went for a meeting with Angling Trust. That would be in the March of 2013. Said, "I've got this idea, I'd like to offer it to you because of the infrastructure of all the administration and everything else. And here's the outline of it." So the chap called David Kent was at the meeting, and he said, "Yeah, I think it's a great idea, it's something we'll look at for next year, 2014.
All right.
Me being me, I said, no, I wanted to start it this year. And he said, "It's impossible." So it's March now, the season starts in June. And I said, "It's not impossible." I said, I'll do all the work. And I'll make it happen. So they let me do that. Wow. I mean,
yeah,
it really was a huge amount of work. I mean, everyone knows what Riverfest is now.
Yeah.
But they didn't then, right?
No, so, I know. I remember you phoning me, and
imagine me ringing you as an organiser.
Yeah.
Right? You might know me, you might not. You know, I introduce myself, would tell you about my concept and the ideas, and would you be interested in winning a qualifier?
Yeah.
You know, so what's in it for you as a club? You can earn peg fees. You're going to get a lot of people on your water, and we're going to help to grow river fishing again. The problem is when you go ring, as was like 20 people that time, it took me ages to do it. But I did it, and we managed to get off the ground in 2013.
Yeah.
You know, it was £10,000 to the winner then. And what was important to me is that, unlike the Fishermania, I didn't want it for one big prize. I wanted to spread it a bit more, right?
Yeah.
I still would love to get to the time when we have a 20,000 top prize and a couple of grand.
Because you need a sponsor, really.
Yes.
When you
We've reached at the moment now. We've reached our limit, I think, on ticket prices.
Yeah.
What, you know, year on year, it's grown. I mean, if you look at this year, I really was anxious that when the pandemic kicked in, you know, in April, I really felt that we'd probably struggle to sell tickets with everybody, you know, a bit twitchy about financial things.
Yeah.
Nothing could have been further from the truth, you know. Whether that's just down to the final venue, I'm not quite sure, but I know there's been a huge response of Trent anglers. You know, we had 5 years on the Y, 2 years on the Seven. I believe now we've got the perfect Wembley for it.
Is it? Yeah.
I truly believe that, because it's right in the middle of the country, you know, so it's accessible for a lot of people from different directions.
Right, okay. And what's the fishing like? Is it good?
Got a huge amount of water. I mean, I was there 2 weeks ago on a qualifier. I mean, there again this coming Sunday. Now, that particular match, I mean, there were 35 double figure weights.
Was they really?
I mean, £67 a bream won it, you know, so there's always that chance of the big weight for anybody to go for. But there were stacks of dace caught, loads of roach caught, loads of perch caught. You know, variety of methods people caught on bolo, whip, long pole, feeder. You know, so it's and the pegging, because we've got a huge amount of water. You know, Wayne Swinscoe and I worked together on it. We've got 40-yard pegs. As you know, you have loads of room, whether you're on the feed or the pole or waggle, you're going to catch more fish, aren't you? You know, because you've got more drawing potential to bring in. And also, when you've got that length of peg, it's better to cope with downstream wind. It always seems to be on the 20. You know,
will it be affected by the floods like the Y and the Seven? No, no.
I mean, we fished a match there last year where there was about 4 foot on, maybe even more, maybe 5 foot on, and there were a load of bream caught, and there's also barbels. I'm not saying you're going to catch a February peg, but you don't on the way either.
No, that's right. Yeah.
But the nice thing is, because it's a big river down there, it's a very big wide river. It takes it, the water spreads out.
Right.
I don't foresee any major problems at all with that. You know, so it should be. I think it'll be a great.
Good. Good.
And I would say, you know, to people who are looking to learn and see good anglers in action, the 3rd and 4th of October, that's the place to be.
Is it right? Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of parking for people to come and watch.
So it's quite a spectator-friendly venue as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's easy for walking. And there's already, a lot of good anglers got through, and there's going to be more in the next few weeks. So.
Well, the thing is, the next thing is, we got to try and qualify, you and me.
I've had 2 seconds. So
have you? Oh, happy, yeah.
I was second on the Cauldron and I missed out by 7 hours.
Yeah, I see. You had a big weight there.
I went to Bridge North and I had £23. The way people were talking, I was going to qualify that day. And, then when the scales came down, I was hoping they'd say something like £15 was top, and the very top peg in my zone had £32.
I see the results. Oh well, that's great. Thanks, Dave, for that. Brilliant. Okay, back to the draw. That's Jim. He's doing a raffle, I think. You doing a raffle, you?
Hello, Clive. How are you,
mate?
Sir?
Yeah, where's little Jimmy then?
Oh, he's having a sleep.
Yeah, so you'd be out after.
It's a bit hungover from last night.
Is he?
He was out with Hannah.
Oh, is he? Oh, well. Oh, right, yeah. I'm not surprised he's sleeping then.
Have a good one.
And you, mate. Cheers, mate.
And you want 1.5? There you are, mate. Thank you very much. So you remind you know in the melee, I'll let you know. Yeah, I need to look at that soon. I've got the festival at the moment. How are you, Clive?
Not too bad, thank you. I paid, haven't I?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you haven't. You haven't paid.
You want double, though?
Have you come to pay?
So this is my mate. How are you?
I mean, you touched it then.
No.
We're
a bit afraid of this bloody COVID thing. Yeah. So you're not doing too bad in the league, yeah?
I had a good round last round. 48 at £17, so I'm back
brilliant.
Up there.
So what are you now in the league?
7th.
7th, is it? Okay. Yeah.
So not a great first round.
No, you can still drop one, though, can't you? That's
okay. Yeah. You got to just keep going.
Because you were in the main frame last year, weren't you?
Yeah, the last 2 years. But,
brilliant.
Well, it's going to be difficult today.
I mean, the year before, I just made the 10th position. Last year, I had to go to Thailand, so I didn't finish the league right. But this year, I think I've bombed out. But don't matter. Still good matches to fish.
I think this year's the first year you can have a replacement from one round as well.
That's handy.
Apparently so.
Well, let's see how that goes then. All right, thank you. Okay, the draw. The draw's started now. They're all queuing up. I managed to get in the front. Russell's behind me.
Here he is, Dave Roberts.
Where? Yeah. Do you want to give me?
Draw money now, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. No, I can just tick it off then, Dave.
Sorry, mate. I thought you were a rolling draw today.
No, mate. Sorry.
David. Mate, you're right.
Dave Roberts, late, holding up the procedures.
Have you had your breakfast? Hang on. Yeah, that's all right. There you go. Oh, sorry, there. Okay, well done. Thank you. Ooh.
Well done, them ships doing that.
Okay, sorry about the delay, we're away.
Go on, Clive, what you got?
What? A flyer.
Not with my luck lately.
41. You're on there, that's good.
Oh, 32?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, waggle her over.
Scales, Russ. Yeah. So
Parking
just take the
dowels,
scales.
Clive.
No, you've got to wait for this board.
Oh, have I?
Want somebody with a look, Jan?
32? Okay, well I've drawn peg 32. Apparently it's got a good peg, so we shall see. Let's set this chub there, so yeah. Talking about the bread, shall give it a go. See you down at the peg now. Okay, alright, I just arrived. It's a bit of a walk, but it's like a Mr. Crabtree water. Look at this. It's got like a big eddy over the far side, a run through the middle, and it looks like I'll have to go in the water a little bit to fish it. But it's one of the better pegs. One of the better pegs apparently. So £19 come up here last week. Perch and chub on the waggler. I don't know whether my bread method's going to work now, but I'm going to start off on it because it's something I always wanted to promise myself. So you know, to give it at least a go anyway. I can always switch to the maggots after. Okay, let me tackle up now and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Show my methods. Just showing you my maggot bag full of the maggots. So I transport them ready to put into a bait box. So they breathe, you know, it's like a cotton sort of mesh. Okay, well the sun's gone in. It's a bit cloudy, I hope it don't rain. I haven't brought my wet gear. But anyway, I'll just have to get wet. Although I got the umbrella, I can always put the umbrella up. Right, well I'm out in the water. And basically, I'm going to use a Y method today. Now, a few of them have said, oh, fish, you know, they catch on a waggler. Well, to me, that looks like hard work because it means you've got no control over your waggler half the time. So what I've opted for top and bottom floats. Well, one loafer, 5 swan loafer, and then a 5 AAA bubble float, you know, Avon type. And then I've also got a balsa chubber as well, all top and bottoms. Now I'm going to take a bit of a gamble here by going on the bread to begin with, because they don't know what bread is yet. nobody ever fishes it or feeds it. You know, it's basically a maggot job. But we'll start on the bread. If I don't have no success, obviously I'll switch to a maggot. Then, you know. As I say, it's a bit of a Crabtree water because I'll show you now. I've got like overhanging trees and they're like a big sort of eddy. So yeah, I'll show you now. Yeah, I see the overhanging trees is a bit of a cliff and a bit of an eddy on the far side. And as we speak, here comes the rain. Great. Let's hope it don't rain for too long, because I don't want to get all the bait wet if I can help it. Oops, the rod's just blowing over with the wind. But with the bread, I'll show you. I don't want to get it too damp, so I'll have to put a towel over that. There's my breadcrumb with bits flaking. There's my hook bait, because I've got maggots. I've also got hemp and tares, which I'll be feeding on the inside line, you know. I got Dave Oxall below me. Looks like he's going to get himself wet. As I say, there's my one setup. There's the loafer there, and then there's a balsa, and then my Avon bubble float. There, all bogged down with just one droppers. Okay. Okay, well, the match is over. It's been hard really. I mean, I've caught fish. I've had those perch, a couple of chublets, foul hook one, one come back with a scale on hook, but then in the last 20 minutes I had a barbel. Not a big one, but give me a run around and I managed to get it in. So but I noticed Dave Vauxhall below me wasn't doing very good, and then he went out on the waggle, I think, across, and he snagged half a dozen chub or more. So he might have done me, I think. Anyway, it's been an enjoyable day. Let's do the weigh-in now in a minute. Okay, right, we're still waiting for the scalesman, so I'm just reflecting a little bit on it. I just been down to see Dave, and he's Dave Vauxhall. He's had 13 chub. He had them late, you know. He went across and but he said he lost a couple as well. So, but I was asking him, you know, how would have fished my peg? Because obviously, you know, I'm not local to this water. And he was saying, well, just fish downstream. But the thing is, it's so inviting across, you know. I'll show you now. Trouble is, I think it's dead water over there. I think looking at it, it's just backing up a little bit. So it's almost like a whirlpool almost. And I think the fish were down. Well, I had my barbel sort of trotting down in the flow. So that's where I should have probably concentrated. Because you know, as I said, I've had my perch more or less in the whirlpool there. And a couple of little chublets, and then a barbel down there. But I did catch some gudgeon on the inside as well, a nice sized gudgeon. Yeah. Yeah, we are £13.4. So that's all. Nice barbel at the end, wasn't he? About £4 or £5. And that's the second best weight so far. But I think Dave's obviously got me below me, so we shall have to see now. We'll see the results later. Dave's back below me. Oh yeah. Oosh. We've had a few days as well. Cock days.
No, not as much as I thought. 17 today.
17, huh? Yeah. Oh. You wasn't that far behind you, Dave. All right.
I got my phone on me, otherwise I'll take a graph. Would you mind taking a... No.